time to go live and do live and be live. And it's time to get to work. You got to treat it like it's your job and then it will become your job. At least that's what they told me 20 years ago when I started doing this kind of thing. So, yeah, I mean, it's been a few days, so thought we'd get on, we'd catch up, we'd see, where what has happened. I mean, didn't something happen? Oh, the assassination attempt thing. I think um I think last time I was on literally was when Trump's assassination attempt, quote unquote, happened at the White House Who knew the White House Correspondents' Dinner was going to play this crucial role in American history? Just a harmless little roast where Obama roasted Trump caused the extinction of humanity, probably, and all life in the universe as we know it. Aliens, where are you? You got to step in and do something. Are the aliens out there watching this? Please, God, help us. Anytime you want to intervene. I keep hearing about aliens. All I fucking hear about aliens, aliens, aliens. Come on. I mean, it's not funny anymore. We need help. Yeah, so okay. So I guess I'll talk about that. The fucking assassination attempt. My boy. They keep coming after him because he's big. They only go after the ones who are the real big well, that's not true. I guess supposedly Gerald Ford, there was like a few assassination attempts on him in 1 year. So maybe this is just like the late 70s sort of coming back again. This sort of maybe it's a recession indicator. Like that's what happened in the late 70s, right? Like stagflation and the oil crisis and all that. And here we and Iran, that's right. That's when the revolution happened there, like the late 70s. I'm trying to my fucking piece of shit Five Below tripod like broke. So only two of the fucking uh legs work. The other one like kind of snapped. So anybody who watched the open mic Monday realized that I mean my angles. Look at this. I mean this is just ridiculous. This is the second one of these tripods I've gone through. I guess you get what you pay for, but okay. So anyway, this fucking assassination attempt. Immediately, everybody is like, it was staged. It's like Boy Who Cried Wolf thing. Everybody thought it was fucking staged immediately before he even started talking about the ballroom and shit. Just the immediate reaction was like, this is fake. And I don't really think it was fake. I think it was somebody trying to get through. They didn't shoot the guy. He's still alive. Like, but I mean, they obviously politicized it and used it for their purpose. The guy didn't get anywhere near Trump. He was like somewhere in the fucking lobby. He didn't even shoot anybody. Or I think maybe one person got shot, but he didn't kill anybody. They didn't shoot him. Dana White was stoked about it. He was like, "Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah." That's kind of nice. Go with this for a second. Um, I mean, people want to kill this guy. It's not a surprise that there's people shooting at him. I mean, the thing in 2024 was different. It was like part of his campaign. And I mean, I think I don't know if they encouraged this or like the security was lax or they're just irresponsible or what. Um, like maybe do they get threats and they perceive threats and they just ignore them or something like It's possible they just kind of let the threats through because they want to get rid of the guy or something, but I don't think it was staged because there was nothing on camera. It's not like people have videos of the guy like shooting up the lobby. I just don't get what he was trying to do. Like Howard, it's just like everything. It's just in shitification. Even our fucking mass shooters are just garbage now. Can't even do a mass shooting. Can't even assassinate the president, right? I guess they couldn't in the 70s either. A guy took a shot at Reagan, like in the like Taxi Driver, right? Taxi Driver was sort of playing on real events where it was like uh guys in it in had taken shots at Gerald Ford, they taken shots at Reagan. There were kind of these lone and like the late 60s, obviously, all of the political assassinations that occurred then. It's been pretty chill, actually. Like, how were there like, nobody tried to shoot George W. Bush, really? The guy threw those shoes at him and he missed. That was like the best thing that happened when George Bush was president. That was about the only fucking like blowback that guy got. It's fucked up, but there hasn't really been, Clinton, at least not that we've seen. There was never like some kind of televised thing where Bill Clinton like had to hit the deck or something, or Obama. I think they maybe like had foiled assassination attempt. I mean, people definitely tried. People had to have tried to kill Obama. There's no way that they were just like, I'm sure there were people that had, for obvious reasons, that I got to plug my vape in. I got to charge my vape. That's a recurring storyline here. Hold on, let me do this. God damn it! Why am I gonna have to fucking hold this? I don't. You know, Somebody explain these fucking air mattresses to me because I mean the thing says on the side like it's not leaking and it's supposed to like the temperature. It's like the temperature change is like what makes it. And it's like this fucking thing is flat. I wake up every day and I'm like in a fucking hammock. It's no longer an air mattress. It's almost like a water fan or something. It's like I gotta like fucking like roll around on it and shit. And I get it. It's an air mattress. It's a piece of shit. It costs $10, but I don't know if there's a leak in it or if it just does that, I guess is what I'm saying. But and more importantly, okay, we need to get back to this emergency in the White House. Okay, this is a crisis. This is breaking attempt on Donald Trump. Okay, he's got to wrangle up some sympathy. He's got to change. I do think it's like it's a little bit of a distraction. So much shit is going bad for him, like Iran. The Epstein thing is almost like fucking ancient history at this point. You don't even hardly hear about it. And didn't the attorney general get fired or step down or something? Who the fuck even can keep track? And so this was the first time Trump has attended the correspondence dinner since he was president. He didn't go, he had a little pouty pity party for himself the first administration. And because the media is very unfair to him. And back then there was a legacy media. There still was like a press corps. They hadn't just like expunged everybody. The second term, it's like he came in with a plan, or at least, some team of people who found him useful did, who wanted to topple our government. And so this is the first time he has it's like me in the open mics. He finally got up he's okay, fine, yeah, I will go. And look what happens. He gets shot. He didn't even seem that upset about it. He's like, yeah, let's go back in. Fuck it. He probably doesn't realize what's going on. He probably doesn't understand it. But at the same time, it's like he seems like he's at the age where it's just like he's past no fucks given. He's past giving a shit about anything, really. Other than, his own getting attention, ego, and all that, his own status. So Um, yeah, it just seemed like they're kind of using it as a distraction. I don't who was the fucking host supposed to be? Because every correspondence dinner, they get like whoever the hot comedian that year is, like fucking Colbert did it. Seth Meyers did the one with Obama where they roasted Trump. Thanks, Seth Meyers. Thanks, buddy. I watched the clip of Obama roasting Trump at the Correspondence Center in 2011 popped up in my feed, and Obama's jokes were like very innocuous. They really were not that mean, actually. They were just sort of making fun of Trump because he thought he was going to be president a little bit, but Seth Meyers' jokes were way meaner. Seth Meyers like really went after Trump, and it's like, okay, good for you, Seth Meyers, but thanks a lot. Who'd have thought? Who'd have fucking thought that just that one little thing would lead to all of this? This stupid fucking course. It's a roast. The correspondence dinner. It's a fucking stupid ass roast. Just they do need to make comedy legal. I'm sorry. They do need to make comedy illegal. It's just a bad, negative, toxic. It's poison. It's poison. And look at this. These roasts. I just don't this roasting thing is so strange to me. Like I'm gonna like go face to face with some comedian that like either I kind of know, maybe a little bit, or like maybe as my friend, I guess, and just like say the meanest fucking things about them that I possibly can. Like attack like their insecurities, their shortcomings, and just like be a dick about it. Like that's healthy, that's entertaining. Like I don't remember the Dean Martin celebrity roasts being like personal. Now it's just like what's the meanest fucking thing you can say about somebody that you barely know in public in front of strangers? It's like why is that fucking I mean it's blood sport. I guess that's why people want to see it because it's fucking gladiatorial. But now we got the fucking roast master in chief. My dad was saying I talked to my dad on the phone. It was his birthday the other day. Happy birthday to my dad. If he's out there watching, he watches my rambling live streams. He said I ramble, which I guess is fair. That's part of yeah, I do. I ramble around Central Park. I ramble around Bushwick. I ramble around downtown. I'm a rambler. I'm a gambler. I'm a long way from my home. I'm a rambling, gambling man, okay? It's my theme. Rambling, gambling. Bob Seger system. So anyway, shout out, happy birthday. My dad was saying Obama was a good comedian. And Obama had like good delivery. Obama could have, he had like, I don't know, it became like a requirement of all corny guys of that era to be like sort of like I don't know. They thought they were funny and cool, like George Clooney or Colbert or I don't know. They all seem like they're kind of like really into themselves or something. I don't know. And like part of the toolkit is like John Hamm. Part of the toolkit is to like Obama can like sort of tell a joke or like he's done a lot of, but his jokes I don't know. They're just a little too. They're a little too Seth Meyersy, frankly. I don't know. Trump's a lot funnier. Trump's more naturally funny. Let's just say that. Trump is like but they're both comedian. Like how fucking weird is this? Like Obama was sort of like a Chicago improv onion fucking comic. But I mean was Obama was like insecure funny. He was like neurotic, like self-deprecating funny. But he could have been like a really smart he's like more like a John Oliver or a Trevor Noah or a John Stewart. He's like one of those type. He's from that mold. But he's all, you can tell his comedy comes from like a place of like insecurity or like nerd. He's a nerd. And that's what we love about him. We're nerds. We're insecure nerds. And he's smart as hell. He's brilliant. He was a fucking president of the Harvard Law Review and shit. Like, he's a very fucking smart person. And but you can tell he's like sensitive. Obama's like a little guarded. And he's not, they were a little bit up their own ass and they like, I don't know. They're a little elitist, let's say. And Obama, I hate Obama's fucking playlists and shit. Like, I hate his. I guarantee you, Ben Lerner's fucking book is gonna be on Obama's playlist. Obama picks his like books of the year. There was something real controversial on. I forget what it was. And then Obama drops like the music he's been listening to. Like, we fucking give a shit. Yeah, want to like jam with a what? I mean, I guess he's a soulful guy. He's got that, what is that? Slow jam the news or whatever. Remember that? Happier times, simpler times. Remember when Obama was slow jamming the news? What the fuck is Obama doing to the news? Or what is Trump doing to the news? Trump is fucking choke fucking the news. I mean, we all know what Trump's doing in the news. We all know what he does and is doing. He's child raping the news. I mean, it's amazing what they've done to 60 Minutes. 60 Minutes still has the veneer of like professional, like, the gold standard of journalism, and it's all fucking bullshit. It's all propaganda now. It's fucking unbelievable what they did to 60 Minutes. You can't really tell it's propaganda because it looks just like 60 Minutes. It's still kind of the same people and shit. I mean, it's not fucking like Andy Rooney or Mike Wallace or anything. It's not Ed Bradley or whatever. It's fucking. I don't even know who's on it. Leslie Stahl. Have they gotten fucking Kid Rock to be on it yet? Is Kid Rock a 60 Minutes fucking host, or Ted Nugent, or maybe Bill Maher? Maybe they got Bill Maher in fucking 60 Minutes. Give Bill Maher Andy Rooney's old time slot. The son of a bitch. I fucking hate Bill Maher. There's Club Random merch. You can buy a Club Random hoodie. There are people out there, believe it or not, with Club Random hoodies. I would maybe wear it around the house as a joke. I would wear it ironically. But man. So anyway, what the fuck was I saying? Trump is a comic. They're comedy. They're totally different. Obama's like more surgical. He's more sarcastic. It's kind of like a weakness. It's coming from like Trump is just, we all know he's a bulldozer. He's like the greatest fucking, he's like, Don Rickles, he's a shock comic. He's like fucking Sam Kinison or something. He's Dice, Andrew Dice president. And to be honest, he's probably made me laugh. I mean, I hate to say that. This is why laughter is not really that, it's a bad barometer of like, it's kind of a roofie. Laughter is a way to like roofie some kind of dark feeling into people. Or like, I don't know, like these roasts and shit. It's like they're mean. It's like, what the fuck? No. It's like this drug. It's a body drug. And so if you can get, and then, there's a place for it. And I guess, this is just part of the human character that I'm not really ready to in embrace, incorporate, is like this kind of bully, but you know, uh, alpha male or what, Trump does represent something about just like winning at all costs, being a fucking dick, being a landlord, being a boss, the ultimate extreme of that's like part of human character, and that's, it's gotten us where we are today, for better or for worse. These dominant male qualities. Colbert, Obama, these guys are more like feminine. They're soy boys. They're not that Trump isn't like damaged. You know, he clearly is traumatized, but like he's developed this unbelievable kind of attack. And we all know he's sensitive and can't handle criticism. I mean, look what he did. Look what he did. Obama gets a few light jokes about Trump. And you look at the video, Trump is just seething and fucking um red faced and fucking he's so pissed about it. He's so fucking pissed about these jokes. And this black man who's the president. I don't know. I don't necessarily know whatever. Let's not even get into that. Trump like Jesse Jackson. I guess Jesse Jackson was more like Trump's idea of I mean Obama was like kind of infringing, you know. He was like uh smarter than Trump. How dare he? People liked him more. What the fuck? More charismatic almost. Is slow jamming the news funnier than Trump doing the YMCA dance? Like, sadly, no. Unfortunately, well, maybe to smart people, maybe to people who are captured by their, you know, white collar institutional jobs, they probably love it, but I don't know. Just on a gut level, I'm sorry. Trump is probably funnier. I mean, I probably shouldn't even say that. Any case, well, what I was saying is like, why don't they just have Trump host the fucking thing? Have Trump host the correspondence. They always get a comedian to do it. Just let Trump host it. He's one of the best comedians. I hate to say it. He's one of the best working comedians. And he's on tour all the fucking time, just like riffing. And he's had tons of fucking tweets and his specials, you know, the State of the Union or whatever, the debates. It's like he's had a lot of comedy gold. Unfortunately, it sucks for this country. It really sucks ass that we're in such a dumb, fucking stupid place. You have to dumb down critical thinking. That's what stand-up comedy is. Stand-up comedy is, hey, you know, I'm gonna make sense of all the fucking malarkey and all the complexity and boil it down to something any fucking idiot can understand and immediately and be like, oh yeah, I never thought of it. Aliens are like if we pulled a fish out of the water and put it back, it'd be like, what the fuck? You're never gonna believe this. They put a probe up my ass. Yeah, comedians. Men are from Mars, women are from Venus. That kind of shit. But I don't know. They're the philosophers of our time, and they're the president, and they're the You know, fucking Zelensky's a goddamn comedian, and the Correspondence Center is a comedy roast, right? Like, do they do anything else? What the fuck? It's just a bunch of speeches. I guess that's what these guys do at these speeches. It's like it's meant to be like a lighthearted. It's a way of taking the piss out of the president. That's my understanding of the Correspondence Dinner. It's once a year. You know, it's for all the media. It was a way to establish goodwill between the press corps and the president, who are always sort of traveling together. They were the apparatus through which the president communicated to the people. And so they're traveling with him on Air Force One. There's, you know, whatever press conferences. So that the dinner is a chance for them to sort of like cut loose. You know, it's not professional. It's not some serious fucking thing where it's like they're talking about war or 9/11 or whatever, you know, like their policy, you know, it's like it's a chance for them to just have the like off duty and socialize and like I said, they get to take the piss out of the president a little bit. They invite Seth Meyers or some other smarmy prick, some other smarmy legacy media, East Coast elitist fuckface, Harvard or fucking Chicago, whatever the fuck it is, some improv comic. They invite some shithead improv comic to roast the leader of the free world to make it seem like, he's just one of us. It sort of brings him, it's a head shrinker, it brings him down. I mean, look at what Colbert did. When Colbert roasted Bush, that was the greatest thing that ever happened at the correspondence dinner until they tried to kill Trump, obviously. That was just like, that trumped it. But I'm just kidding, okay? When ICE comes at me, I mean, I'm so guilty. If and when they do actually institute a police state and deport us all to camps, I'm fucked. Clearly, I'm fucked. They cannot execute my soul. My soul will prevail. That's what the war is about, okay? You got to hold to your fucking principles and not just sell out to these fucking cocksuckers. And so anyway, this fucking correspondence dinner, Trump just basically got rid of it. He doged it. Like everything else. He just fucking he axed it. He 86'd it. He tore it down. He hasn't, I mean, did Biden do it when he was like, infirm and demented and shit? I don't remember if they brought it back. There was COVID. Maybe they did. It was probably woke. They probably had like some super woke correspondence dinner with, was it Wanda Sykes or something? God bless. We love Wanda Sykes. Was it Bowen Yang? Who hosted the last one? It was Sarah Squirm or fucking please God. I think it was Colin Jost. I'm sure Colin Jost has done it. I'm sure he's done it. That's how bad our country sucks and how far we've fallen. Is Colin Jost is the best we can do. Oh my God, there's so many things. So, okay, this is one thing I wanted to talk about. This is totally unrelated. There's so many things going through my head that I want to talk about, but I'll get to them later because this correspondence dinner thing is topical and it's happening and it's kind of over. Everybody's already fucking moved on, but um, yeah, they didn't even get to the fucking jokes. They just canceled the fucking thing. Erica Kirk is crying. She's weeping. And where was Tim Dillon? Can't they get Tim Dillon to do it? I'm sure there's a lot of comedians they could get. Was it Tony Hinchcliffe? Was he hosting? He's like part of the Reich. Was there a fucking comedian in the Third Reich? Where did comedy fit in that? Did they deputize all the fucking roast masters of fucking the Third Reich? I mean, was Himmler like an open mic host or I don't even know these guys' names. Gehring. Were they like, okay, yeah, so the correspondence dinner, they fucking they missed again. They keep missing. The guy didn't even get close. Like, what the fuck is wrong with these people? The guy on his golf course, it was the same thing. It was like he was 500 yards away. He just like he was so pissed off, he just like started shooting. It's like, Jesus Christ, man. Can't we get somebody with some fucking like skills to try this? Can't we get somebody like infiltrate or some kind of double agent or something to like fucking somebody who can shoot straight? I didn't really look into the fucking guy who did it because I don't know. I mean, I don't give a shit. This will probably start happening every week. But apparently he was like a teacher in California or something. He seemed like kind of a level-headed guy. At this point, you're probably going to get more and more good people trying to do everybody else a favor by, you know, the next president should pardon whoever shoots Trump. I mean, I hate to say it. In fact, I would run on that. Elect me, I will pardon. I'm gonna pardon a fucking January 6th people for Christ's sake. That's fucked up. They're already out committing more crime. Pardon Luigi. Luigi's a fucking hero, man. We need more Luigis. It's like, how has nobody else stepped up to do this? Like, where's the copycats? These things are supposed to inspire copycats. YouTube banned the fuck out of my shorts. A lot of people watch those YouTube shorts, and YouTube banned the fuck out of my. And so I got no way to kind of like get the message out, other than to my loyal fans that are W's in the chat in my heart forever. I'm having some Ridgies from Wise. It's baseball season. I'm gonna try to sort of fix my diet a little bit. Yeah, just let Trump host the fucking dinner. He'd be the funniest guy there. Just let him roast all the reporters. Well, now it's like I don't even know what the fuck it is. It's like him and like, just his chosen. It's like One America, Fox News. Are there podcasters? Was Theo Vaughn there? Was Aiden Ross there? I mean, that's like the new media. It's like just choose your own propaganda that like supports what you do. And so it's not really, I mean, it's not, say what the legacy media, I guess, had its own propaganda and its own biases, but it seemed more legit than this shit we got now. I mean, was Alex Jones there? I guess he's like, he hates Trump now. So he's like, he's out. He's out. He said Trump is, grandpa's out for lunch or something. Um, okay. I mean, okay. Sorry, I need a little snack for a second. It's a mukbang. This is just a mukbang video now. Uh it's Ridge's Wise Ridgie's mukbang. Okay. Now let me go back to my thinking chair. My ranting chair. It's a little well, fuck it. We'll get open for a second. Live from New York City. Okay, so anyway, where was I? I lost a viewer. Fuck. See, it's cutthroat with this attention economy. You just gotta. So anyway, okay. Um. Well, part of what I wanted to talk about was like, I don't know. I guess this is like a huge fucking leap. I don't know what to. It's just like how part of like was remarkable about like just like life and kind of like in a world where I don't know, so much of everything is just like about choice or customizable or whatever. The mystery of personality and how people get born with a certain spirit or certain force, and it's those forces that kind of shape like the world. There's certain people that it's like it's kind of it'd be hard to imagine the world without them because like they have such a unique and the generative properties of our genetic, how it but also like what is that? The soul of a person, it's such a definitive it's there kind of like from the beginning. Like the personality is like even as a baby, your personality is kind of there. And people are their kind of own driven entities, like somebody like Donald Trump. It's like how many fucking people have told this guy, no, 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 you can't do this, don't do that, blah blah blah. And yet like he has this spirit, this kind of drive that has catalyzed this whole next. I mean, it's not just him, obviously. um we're moving from like I was thinking about the industrial revolution. My dad was sort of talking about this and about like before the industrial revolution, like people didn't really live in cities. They didn't have like factory jobs. You didn't sell your labor quite in the same way. That's like the technology enabled kind of wage labor and these kind of class structures and made it so you had to like sell your time to earn a living, made it so like you had to. Whereas like now we live in this hyper intensified version of that where it's like, rent is this just sort of assumed thing. You go to a job, you earn money by selling your labor. Hopefully you can make enough money to pay your rent. Whereas like before the industrial revolution, right? Like people lived on goddamn farms and shit. Like they lived, maybe they owned it, probably, I guess. I'm not exactly sure how it worked, but like a lot of things were like maybe they had to pay taxes, I suppose, once a year, and that was maybe hard for them to do, but like people kind of provided for themselves. They grew their own stuff, and the way that people's lives was organized was like a lot different. And it's the technology that kind of enabled these changes that brought in these new kind of governments. But like the people that were constructing, the democracies or whatever, the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, they were educated people who were doing it sort of based on, the Enlightenment or something, right? Wasn't the Enlightenment like the 17th? There was this sense that like the 1700s, right, was like this era of like I don't know, kind of a dawning of more of like a humane, rational, uh, and it was based on trial and error of the human race and the buildup of civilization and knowledge and technology and this and that. And there was a lot of thought in like the idea that the government would be based on every single person can vote. I mean, we do live in a representative democracy, so it's not necessarily a pure democracy, but that was also like probably part of the logistics of what they were capable of and like what had worked through history in Greece or whatever, where they invented democracy, or they sort of were influenced by Rome, obviously, and various Western, probably predominantly, civilizations and things they'd studied. And so, there's an idea in that like every person is sort of like that's part of like your humanity. Being born, you get like life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. That's part of the deal here. It's not just like some people are fuck. Well, I mean, there were slaves then, but it's like an "I think, therefore I am" thing. There was like a recognition of each person's sort of like consciousness, rule of law, and sort of like interior their own decision making plays a part in it. They have a say. It's not just a king. It's not just like feudal. Like before the Industrial Revolution, there was more like serfs, people just living on the land or whatever. But supposedly, they only worked 180 days a year or something. In like the Middle Ages, these like serfs, these people who we look at now as like, the dregs of human cult, like they just lived on some few, but it's like they only worked half the year and they had pretty good lives in a certain way. I mean, they obviously didn't have healthcare dentists or anything, but like they also didn't work fucking, what is it? In the United States, you get 2 weeks a year. That's insane. And so who's free really? And within democracy, there's this idea that like it sort of goes hand in hand with like being a worker or something almost. It's like as somebody with freedom, you're free to earn a wage. You're free to find an employer. Capitalism, right, sort of arose at like the same time as this technology. And part of what the Industrial Revolution did was it divorced the worker. Now there was like capitalists that could start businesses where they'd have a bunch of fucking people working for them. They'd pay them a wage, but they'd collect most of the profits and they would get rich. um I don't know, maybe it worked like that before, but it seemed like more uh that's how the aristocracy sort of morphed into like, I don't know, like an owner class of like capitalists and like proletariat or something, the workers. And inherent in that or implied in that is like people need to educate themselves. They have a right, part of America, or I don't know if it's built into the Constitution really, but like upward mobility, the idea that like you can start out and just through like hard work, you can get rich, you can become successful, you can own things. And obviously those possibilities were not there for everybody in the beginning, and you know until recently. But um, I just I think part of what we're seeing now is like with this AI thing, at least the way that they're pitching it to us, it remains to be seen how much how much it's going to revolutionize manual labor. But I mean, it's already starting to take a lot of people's jobs, right? It's already starting to take, and so that's gonna be a similar change to the fucking Industrial Revolution, where it's like under the Industrial Revolution, it's like you still could get a job, you still could sell your labor. You weren't just totally replaced with automation and fucking machines. Whereas like with the AI shit, it's like now they don't need the proletariat. Now they don't need the workers. Now the organized labor is not going to have any bargaining chip because they're not necessary. The machines will just do it. They won't ask fucking questions. They can work all day and all night. Uh, and so it seemed to me like, you see this in politics, right? Like we're looking for somebody, like it's not just statistics. It's like a leader needs to arise out of the fucking people. Somebody like Trump, somebody like Mamdani, somebody like Obama. There are certain people that like, and the Democrats' problem is they have, and each party's problem at certain times is like they haven't generated the right fucking kind of inspiring candidate. And or I don't know, like it's part of like whatever the way that things came together in this country and sort of like the promise of this country that like as an individual, you could figure out a way to sort of like have somewhat of an ownership over yourself. You could buy enough of your life back that like you have freedom to think what you want, say what you want. Um, and that's like part of democracy. That's part of uh what makes it work is like the people are motivated to like, and they're allowed to. They're not just totally subjugated and like forced to do certain things, like in some totalitarian state. And I don't know. That's sort of like an X factor in life is just like human chemistry, people coming together, people figuring out their collaborations that create magic and recognizing human character, human spirit, human that the whatever it is that the soul that's within you. And I guess maybe like AI will have that. What the fuck is my point about this? There was some reason why I've been thinking about this a lot. Uh like even though history has like these systems and it's stabilized and there are reasons why like it's not just Trump, like Trump isn't just he's not really doing this himself. It's like all these things are sort of coming together with social media and tech monopolies, the technology, the surveillance technology, the automation, the AI. I mean, it's something that these people, this group of people, they all found each other and they're pushing for it. Peter Thiel and Sam Altman and, the whole weird cabal of like the synergy of Rogan and these manosphere people and Elon Musk, and they're all like on the same team. Dana White, JD Vance, Rubio, and Trump is sort of like, wrong person, wrong time. But it's like it's that's where we are. We just have to live through this for some reason. And I mean, I just think that like that's the thing that like you can't help about yourself, like you have a certain spirit, personality, whatever it is, and like it can be put to certain purposes. And our society functions, I guess, by like everybody does what they're suited to do and uh what makes them useful. but there's like a possibility that we don't need this system. Like we don't need capitalism. We don't need like to be controlled by owners, bosses. Those are the type of people that have created this system to sort of like capture us. People like Trump. Their personalities are driven in that way. They want to be the boss. They want to have a bunch of employees. They want to have the best and luxury and uh I mean, I guess as an artist, like it's an interesting space for this because art is sort of like the residue of what I'm talking about, like your spirit causes your art. Like your art is like the manifestation of that or something. Like the way your painting looks, the way your music sounds, the way your poem looks, the way your comedy, I guess. I don't know if that counts. That's a bad example. Forget that one. Scratch that one. Scratch that. Scratch that. Forget I said that. I don't know, maybe. Comedy is just like, I don't know, sort of just like your person on display. And so I guess in that sense it's well, the persona of the comedians is part of the art form. And by, like Rodney Dangerfield, right? Like this guy created something that like human beings like needed. It's so universally like yes, we don't get no respect. Just capture something about being in the proletariat or anybody. I mean, even Trump feels that way. Even Trump's like, nobody respects me. Oh, my wife. He grabbed his wife's ass. Did people see that? I'm surprised that was even news. Like, really? That's news at this point? Trump grabs his wife's ass? Like, oh, I guess because the Prince Charles was there. That's why it was like uncouth. It's Trump. Are we fucking this is like how did people even bat an eye at this? Of course he grabbed his wife's ass. Look at him. Look, we are you for real? This was the headline on fucking Drudge Report. Trump grabs his wife's ass in front of the King Charles. It's like, fucking who cares? Who fucking cares? Like, yeah, of course, she look at her. We read the files. We know who the fuck he is. I'm surprised that's all he did. You mean he didn't stick a finger inside of her? Hey, Charles, you want to stick a finger in my wife to see how tight she is? Like that's the kind of guy he is. Okay. I mean, that's his spirit. That's his animus, his imago. I guess it's Freud. What would Freud call it? The personality, um, the life force. So yeah, Trump grabbed his wife's ass. Oh my God. Wow. Meanwhile, who's about to nuke Iran? And he may have staged an assassination attempt, and nobody seems to think it was real. God damn it. This guy's fucking using like this leaf blower. It's killing me. Hold on. I gotta close this. Not that it's gonna like make it that much quieter, but talking about Trump's wife's ass. Come on. This is a good clip. I could clip this. I can't have that fucking leaf blower sound. YouTube microphone has like gotten real weird. I was listening to my last because they're trying to make everything a podcast. So now I don't know what the fuck it is. Maybe you can change it. YouTube really doesn't let you customize that much, but like um they've made it so like there's some kind of gate on it. So it's like you probably can't even hear that. But like later when I watch this, they take your voice and they try to make it sound like you're talking on a condenser mic. They try to take all of the room tone out of it and make it sound super like bassy and present. Which I get, if they're trying to make everything into a fucking podcast through like your phone, that makes sense. But like it sounds like shit. Well, it makes anything that's not just like your voice talking to the phone just warbly and incoherent. Like any of the music on the Monday live streams and the open mic live streams, it's like forget about it. The music just sounds horrible. You can't even hear it. It's just like it's like it's just garbage. So I apologize, but YouTube fucking changed their noise gate or something. It's probably some AI shit. When I did Premiere AI to like fix some audio, that's what it sounded like. So it's probably some fucking AI thing to like, ooh, we'll take this out and just gate everything else to just make it all so people can listen to it in their headphones or something. I hate it, but I don't know. Does it sound good right now? Can you hear this fucking leaf blower? Blink twice if you can hear the leaf blower. You have no way to respond at all. No one can talk back. Oh, this shirt is just filthy. I gotta this is my clip shirt. People like this one in the clips because it looks like I don't know. This would be better for clipping. No clipping, no clipping. I do have a poem coming out in May in this magazine, the Scene magazine. It's named after Larry Sanders. No flipping. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so that does sound good. That's how you're communicating. That was the blink right there, I guess. What the hell was I talking about? Trump almost got shot. Our president almost got shot. Okay, people are they're not buying it anymore. Trump. Okay, they don't. I think it definitely was real. Like the guy didn't actually shoot anybody, didn't, but their messaging, they pumped out their messaging. I saw this Twitter thing. It was like 40 different Twitter accounts all tweeting the same thing about his fucking ballroom. And his I don't know, apocalypse bunker, I guess, is what they're building underneath it. Probably some kind of like place for him to live after he blows everybody up. He can, it'll have all, whatever, bunch of TVs and 13-year-olds who look like his daughter. Be well stocked with um yeah, I don't know. And the mystery of personality, where does it come from? And it just seems like there's less, like, this is something I wanted to say about nepo babies is like it's not, nepo babies are not necessarily inherently bad. There's tons of examples of people, and it's a genetic thing, right? Where it's like if you're some great per, talent at a certain thing, yeah, it's highly possible your kids are probably good at it too, maybe. Not always, but they're probably a lot like you are. And, if you're suited to a certain thing or you're driven to a certain thing. And so, it's not like nepo babies are inherently bad, but like we're living in a place where it feels like that's all there is. In the same way that's all there is Marvel fucking movies. And it's like everybody famous is like somebody fucking famous kid or something. And like, I don't know, something changed or like it's harder. The thing about inflation is it increases the value of people's assets because there's more money. And they knew that. I guarantee you they knew that. I guarantee fucking to you when Trump put $5 trillion into the economy, he knew, hey, this is just going to make all my rich friends richer. And in fact, it's going to create this kind of barrier between anybody who's not already rich. Anybody who owns a home is going to get rich now, but I don't know. But then anybody who doesn't is fucked forever. And it's sort of eugenics against poor people, I guess. You can't, well, against, I don't know, whatever the hell I am, the precariat. Poor people are having a lot of kids. I heard something about the only place people are having kids, it's like Hasidic Jewish people, and it's like these religious people that are all on welfare. Um, So it's my conspiracy today. My diet is going great. I'm mauling these fucking Ridgies in my live stream. Smoking, eating potato chips. Smoking, eating potato chips. Um, what the fuck is my point about this personality thing? I don't know. That's sort of what fiction is about. I've been seeing all these goddamn Sopranos clips on my TikTok, and I loved the goddamn Sopranos when I was in college. I watched it just like everybody. I watched it when it was on originally, and I'd like to rewatch it, but um, what the fuck is my point about the Sopranos? That show, I guess, is relevant because it's like they're the Romans, or they're like the fucking Roman Empire. They're the early Roman kings, and like America is like the new Rome. And it's sort of just like, you know, Coppola's thing with The Godfather. It's really just like the thing about The Sopranos is it does like borrow heavily from that shit. Sopranos is sort of just like The Godfather meets uh Goodfellas meets fucking Analyze This meets Full House meets but I don't know. I think it's just like the most fleshed out. You get the spirit of those characters. You know who Paulie Gualtieri is. You know who Silvio Dante is. Like that show maybe is the best show still at like exempt exemplifying like character. Like those characters and they're not, like Mad Men for the most part the characters on Mad Men are like these East Coast kind of elitist. There's not whereas like a lot of the characters on The Sopranos are just like dumb. They're dumb, kind of like, and yet they're able to write those characters really well. They're able to write these like criminals, these kind of like thugs, and make them seem really realistic and give them interesting things to do. I was watching, there's this storyline, Paulie Gualtieri's mom's not his mom, it's his aunt. So he gets like flipped, he gets really pissed about it. It's like, that's an interesting thing to show this guy, like, because this whole thing was about his mom. He's like a total mama's boy. So it's like, how do you expose this guy? And the way that The Godfather is a metaphor for what happened to America after World War II and how it had to like evolve. I guess that's what generally like plays the best plays are about. It's like some kind of evolution of, from one way of society to a new stasis through this turmoil. And like that's sort of what's happening right now with Trump and all of the shit that we're going through. It is like this epic shift. And it doesn't look great. Like what we're shifting to. I guess what's it just feel it feels so bleak. Suddenly it feels so bleak. Like when Obama was president, it felt like, things are still kind of the future might be hopeful. We might figure out climate change or like they're fucking building windmills everywhere. Like Even at the time, like, the tech people were still pretty cool. You know, they hadn't gone all fucking, like, to the dark side. You know, they were still kinda like, I don't know, fun or something. It was about fun. It wasn't about, like, taking over the world and killing fucking most of humanity as, like, part of some kind of plan of the elites to, like, accelerate, uh, the crisis into the new world. They've decided for whatever reason, we don't need all these people. We don't need 8 billion people or something, and, I don't even know if that's gonna be sustainable. You know, part of what think about the population growth and how, I mean, I think in 1960 there was like 3 billion people, which is a lot, but like, we've doubled that and then some since then. And I think in the years since World War II, we've been able to sustain this kind of like population explosion because of whatever you want to call it, this post-war stasis where the American-led world order with the United Nations and, these kind of like small, localized, whatever, military industrial exercises to sort of just like keep the cash flow or whatever. I saw this thing about how America was sort of put into that position. America's traditionally was trying to be isolationist, but uh, it was sort of drawn in. And so in a certain way, we didn't have a choice but to become, I think that's why Eisenhower warned about it. He could see that America had to sort of become the arms dealer of the world because as a way to stabilize and like prevent all those European countries from fighting each other. Like for a lot of hundreds and hundreds of years, all these fucking European countries are like fighting each other. People are trying to take over the world and this and that. They're all killing each other. Like, I think World War II was just such a fucking intense crescendo that the people who survived it just said, okay, here's what we're gonna fucking do. And, you know, they were able to, there were things like globalization, things like what the shipping lanes, right? Like that's what we're seeing is how important these shipping lanes are and the ability in the peacetime stability of the United Nations and that whatever that post-war order, American led with the American Navy sort of being like the arbiter of like keeping the seas chill through intimidation, I guess, and just dominance, being like the world police. But the police, they're generally supposed to enforce by like presence or something. It's not necessarily like they want to use violence, although we know that's not true. Some of them want to use violence. They're not necessarily the good guy, but they do kind of serve a purpose. They're kind of necessary, I guess. We haven't quite figured out something better. We could probably, maybe, in a perfect world. Is America preventing that? Maybe. Maybe America wants to be the fucking boss. I don't know. Probably, I guess. But, this is something Professor Zhang talks about. It's the ability of people in America to just fucking get whatever they want. You can have food from all over the fucking world. You get to order shit from all over the world. Like, you get the best of everything if you want it because of the globalized marketplace. And people sort of take that for granted because of American imperialism and the wars that there have been, which have been unnecessary. And like America probably hasn't been as good of a fucking, superpower as they could be. Global superpower. But it's hard to fucking understand the dynamics of all this stuff. It's a balance. And like a lot of these people say, America is a young country. It's not like China where there's thousands of fucking years of civilization and learning. And this is something Professor Zhang says China's not really outwardly focused. They're not necessarily trying to like invade everybody. They have their kind of own world within their own country. Whereas like America, it's like we're all fucking all these people's countries. Um, World domination. We love that. We love dominating the world. It's awesome. Donald Trump, what are you doing? You're fucking it up. We had this sick thing going on. Things were chill. But then, so he just wants to split everything up. And, like what was it? They just pay, but they just acquired Spirit Airlines or something, right? The government just paid like to to acquire like a stake in Spirit Airlines. It's like, well, that's exactly the point. The point is to crash the market so Spirit Airlines goes out of fucking business so the government can step in and become a majority shareholder or whatever the fuck they did, which basically means Trump runs it. Basically means he owns it. That's how he looks at it. It's like, good, this is mine now. That is the point of what they're doing. It's a bust out, just like the fucking Sopranos, you know? That's why like this shit is suddenly relevant. It's a crime family. It's a crime syndicate. I mean, maybe that's just life. I don't know. It's brutal. It's illegal. It's war crimes. And well, now there's going to be like we're seeing it's like there's going to be tolls or whatever. It's going to cost more. You won't it won't be as easy to just get whatever you want from everywhere on the planet. People talk so much shit about globalization. And yeah, globalization, if they ship the jobs overseas to like slave labor, that's like not really cool. And like, but now it's just like robots are going to do the jobs for free. Robot slaves. And we're all going to be dead. And Mark Zuckerberg's going to be in the bunker with all of our. It's like going to be Doctor Strangelove. It's just like that movie. It's just like. Okay, I'm going to finish this. Hold on. That is a nice look at that. Do you appreciate that? Bam. We're up here on the fucking Palazzo Chupi. This is as close as I'll probably get to Palazzo. Well, no, I need to manifest. I need to write down, I will live in Palazzo Chupi. I'd love to build my own Palazzo Chupi, but I mean, you couldn't really do it any better. I mean, it's pretty nuts, that Palazzo Chupi. Do yourself a favor, just Google Palazzo Chupi. This is my Palazzo Chupi. It's a bust down, just like the whole, the whole storyline. What they do to the guy from Terminator 2, Robert Patrick. What's his name? David something on the show. How he runs in a bunch of debt because he's a gambling degenerate. The executive game. He wants to play in the executive game. So he loses his shirt, and so they take over his business. They use it to buy a bunch of stuff on credit. Just like Goodfellas. They do the same thing in Goodfellas. They use it to buy a bunch of stuff on credit, never intending to pay it back. They're just running this guy's credit into the ground. And then in Goodfellas, they light the business on fire to collect the insurance. Controlled bankruptcy. That's sort of like, I think that's what Tony Soprano says when Robert Patrick asks him, "What's the plan? What's the ultimate thing?" Tony Soprano goes, "Planned bankruptcy" or something like that. It's like, yeah, where do you think Trump learned it? Those bankruptcies were probably like on purpose. That was probably like the best way for him to make money or something. The whole time that was the plan. When you don't want, when you get bored, just flush it. Planned bankruptcy. So, uh, yeah, those are the. I mean, it's the Roman Empire. You know. Of course, we have a mafia president. And well, those Scorsese movies, those Soprano movies, they're sort of like a retelling of that in a way, right? Like The Sopranos is sort of like built on the Roman, like it's capo, it's soldiers, it's almost like Roman legions and shit. The organization of the families, they have soldiers, got that 50 soldiers. It's like, what the fuck do these guys do? I don't know. They're earners, they got capos, they got consigliere. And so it's sort of like a modern mutation of that and these personalities. I mean, they invented fascism, right? Mussolini. Italians, they have kind of a fascist streak. I don't know why. They're kind of into fascism. They like Berlusconi, and isn't Mussolini's daughter's like in the fucking parliament or something now? She's like on Twitter. She's on Truth Social. Mussolini's daughter or his granddaughter or something. Some of them are like, yeah, we liked it. It made the trains run on time. Futurists. And so they've always had a thing for that. I don't know. Is that Caesar, right? Or that's like the emperor of Rome? I don't know. Power. They tried to take over the world. They did. They ran the world. They were like America at the time. And so the mafia, I guess, is sort of like some kind of thugged out dark web. They're an underclass. That's part of what The Sopranos is about. Is like how, right? They have that. They had to do this. They wanted a piece of it. That's one thing that show does really well, is tell that side of the story. Is like these people were immigrants. They were the low people in the totem pole. They were forced into, but they wanted their own thing. And so they figured out, oh, we can do racketeering, we can do gambling, we can do bookmaking, we can do whatever it is, bootlegging, speakeasies, and they created their own kind of like empire within the empire. Things maybe other people, waste management, construction, cement, trucking, uh, you know, key kind of choke point businesses. And Trump, is kind of like one of those guys. He's like, I was just thinking that movie Casino. I want to watch that because it's like, I mentioned that a few times. I talked about it last time. Oh God, it's just another storyline. Trump got assassinated. Woo, we've seen this one. Trump next. It's a rerun. We did this already. Okay, come up with something new. Okay, we need like some kind of exciting 21st century, upgrade. I am gonna do 2 hours, so I'm gonna do 40 more minutes of fun. WWEZ scenes from a life, everybody. The open mic was good this week. It was the last of Poetry Month. It was my dad's birthday, and I read a piece. I read this piece, Rear Window. I just typed it up today. So I did accomplish something today. I typed up my poem, Rear Window. I read it at the thing. I liked it. It's kind of a nice piece. It's a little more, it's kind of a nice between. It's maybe not as quite, it's not quite as, etched in and kind of intricate as my older pieces, but it's a little slower, it's a little more plaintive, it's a little more complete. It's more it's nice. It's a nice thing. I feel, like, good about it. I feel original, like, it's sort of like a slow motion version of what I typically do. And it's like these kind of spots of memory, like Wordsworth said, spots of memory. I don't know how to, in a certain way, like, you need to, like, enforce what that means to people in the poem to, like, make it really s screw in, but, um, uh, I also just like kind of like having easygoing. It's like sort of a collage of these kind of like moments of uh contemplation and event, and so yeah, I think it's a nice piece. It's like a 7 page. It's like I think it probably read 5 6 minutes something. It's a nice mid-sized piece. I like that. It's good. The thing is, if you go to a lot of these open mics, it's like you get 2 minutes or something, and it just sucks when every poem's fucking 2 minutes long. That's one reason with Poetry Month I was just going to give myself the challenge. Like, here's an excuse. And I've been, I don't know. There's something about that theater downstairs and that fucking podium, that big theater and that podium. I just want to get at that podium and just like read giant poems, read giant 10, 15. Like, I think on my birthday, maybe my piece was 20 minutes. It just encourages. And so but there is more time. That's the thing about doing it upstairs for me is it sucks because we have to start an hour later. We usually get started at 9. And so, you know, I'm trying to be considerate of the people who came's time. I'm not going to do 20 minutes for Christ's sake at 9 o'clock. Whereas, like, in the theater downstairs, I can start whenever the hell I want. Honestly, I could start at 7:30 if I wanted, and just whenever we want. Uh, but it's like usually people are still kind of coming in, so I usually start like 7:45. I'm trying to make it so like the actual list starts at 8 o'clock. These are behind the scenes. These are the inside secrets of the mic. Here's how to run a mic empire. So anyway, there's a bigger space, and so there's big caverns of space and time in that theater downstairs that are not there upstairs. And not only that, but I have to be really on people upstairs because geez, it's hard to believe we even fucking did it for that long because it's like, let's say I do 10 minutes at the beginning. I usually try to do, somewhere, unless it's really late, then I'll do less, but like I don't try to do more than 10 minutes upstairs. And especially if there's a bunch of people there, then it's like, well, it just makes me look like an asshole or something. But, then I've got to be like really on people's ass to keep it moving, keep it moving, keep it moving because it's like, Jesus Christ, it's 9:10 or something. You can't even get that many people up before 10 o'clock. It's like I've got very limited bandwidth before 10 o'clock. And so I've got all these fucking people trying to get on. And downstairs, it's like, okay, I can put fucking, between 8 and 10 o'clock, I can put, what is that? Probably 20 people on. Upstairs, I can probably put maybe 10 before 10 o'clock. And so, but people like the upstairs. A lot of people like kind of stopped coming to the downstairs, to be honest. A lot of people like the downstairs. There's pros and cons, there's pros and cons. I like the downstairs personally. I just wish that I wish other people liked it, and I wished that it added up to like more f- fun for people. For some reason, people like the upstairs, like just from like a whatever uh ergonomic feng shui kind of like energy environment point of view. And I don't know, you can't argue with that to some degree, but uh, I kind of am mystified by it in a certain way too. Uh, but we've been doing well, and it's been fun. I have a lot. So it's like it's a little. It can be a little more relaxed. It doesn't feel quite as cramped. The upstairs is pretty fucking, packed and tight, and that can feel really exciting. But I don't know. It's nice to be able to breathe a little bit. There's pros and cons. It'd be nice if we could have a balance, maybe a half and half, or I don't know. I don't know. Any case, how the hell did I start talking about this? I was talking about casino and Trump, and well, I kind of wanted to just talk about something else. I've been talking about all that stuff for well, what were the goddamn things? I'll talk about this. I'll talk about this. Let me check my fucking list real quick. I did talk about the Spirit Airlines thing. It's an acquisition now. Trump runs it. We're just gonna run it now. We just run it now. Check my shit here. It's a good point to check my set list. Okay. Yeah, I still don't know what that means. Okay. Still don't know what that means. All right. So anyway, I was doing a joke about the assassination attempt because so many people think it's fake. And maybe what I was doing was in poor taste. It was kind of a dark, because I see all these fucking clips of like the mid '70s Saturday Night Live. The first season of Saturday Night Live, like Chevy Chase and Michael O'Donoghue, there's some pretty dark jokes. And I don't know. I guess I have kind of a cynical, especially with this stuff. I just thought it would be funny if I got all these gunshot sound effects, and I kept having them go off at different times. When I was up there, it's sort of like, oh my god, they're trying to kill me again. It's exploiting. See, the thing is, the theater downstairs is no longer safe. It's not safe for me to be down there, so we need to go back to the red room. We should not have done. They shouldn't have done the correspondence dinner at that Hilton. That was where Gerald Ford got shot, or Reagan, or one of them. One of those fucking weird assassination misses, fails, assassination fail. And they went back, and it wasn't. See, he needs that ballroom. He needs his ballroom, okay? He needs his ballroom slash grotto apocalypse bunker, nuclear headquarters. Whatever. God knows what the fuck. Child sex lair, dungeon, Epstein Island. Epstein's going to live down there. He's going to get Epstein and Ghislaine, and they're just going to live down there with him. And they're all going to be buds with Bill Gates and the Clintons. They're going to do more, what's it called? The pizza thing. What was that called? Sizzle drip or whatever. Frazzle drip. That's the frazzle drip wing now. That's what it's for. He tore down all that East Wing bullshit where the first lady and all the women. Fuck all that. Fuck all that. Piss on the ashes of that shit. Get Kid Rock in there. Get Kid Rock with the monster truck and just rip it out. Just rip it out like a baby. And I'm sorry. The Trump stuff is it's dark, people. It's cynical. I told you it was cynical. I said it was cynical. I did give you a trigger warning. Well, everybody on the internet was like, it's fake, it's fake, it's fake. And that's where we are at as a country. People just think everything is, and with Trump, it might be true. Honestly, he does everything is like just scripted, like wrestling. He's got Linda McMahon in the administration. What do you think? They got rid of the Department of Education. She helps them write their scripts. She helps with the kayfabe. They all have to be, like on message together. And so maybe Vince is. I mean, If Linda McMahon is in the White House, that means Vince McMahon is in the White House, okay? Like, there's no way Linda is just like doing it solo. I guarantee you that Vince is like got an ear with the president. I'm sure Donald Trump really is eagerly, Vince is probably one of his few peers, to be quite honest. Like, who else? Maybe Elon Musk, I guess. I mean, Elon Musk doesn't have the fucking. He doesn't have the intestinal fortitude. I'm sorry. He's no Vince McMahon, as much as he wants to be. I'm sorry. It's not easy. It's Trump and Vince McMahon, and who maybe I don't even know who else is in that club. Like nobody. Fucking nobody. Definitely not like Mark Cuban. Definitely not Mitt Romney. I mean, Epstein, maybe. Who's in the McMahon? Maybe OJ. Charles Manson, maybe. Harvey Weinstein. I don't know who's in the McMahon Trump level. I don't. That would be. I think the ultimate warrior. Maybe Hogan. Nah, Hogan's not a billionaire. I don't know. It's few. Well, they're celebrity billionaire reality. They're sort of famous for being themselves, and they're ruthless capitalists. Uh, um, 80s kind of super CEO, predator, Gordon Gecko. Maybe there's some finance dudes that are like in that class. Some, I don't know. Are there any other Madoff? I don't know. Who's in the Super Beast? Who's in the Super Beast? No one else is that famous, I don't think. Like Liberat Schwarzenegger, maybe. I guess Schwarzenegger he might be the only other one. Stallone, maybe some of those guys. Probably Schwarzenegger's probably the closest. I guess maybe Jesse Ventura is not like a billionaire. I don't think he's like just kind of a sage. He's just a cultural sage. Trumpy and Vince McMahon and Hulk Hogan. Hogan, he didn't want to unionize. And well, it's been done to death. I mean, the Jesse Ventura, it's fun to do though. I mean, he's fucking hilarious. He's amazing. God bless. He was an early harbinger. Is that what harbinger of Trump? He was really the first guy. I mean, I guess Ross Perot, but he was really the first guy that won. He was the first kind of celebrity. He was the first guy in the movie Predator. Is Trump in Predator? Is anyone in the administration in Predator? I mean, Jesse Ventura is not like Trump, so I don't think he would be in the administration ever. But Trump is not in Predator, I don't think. Sadly, he should have been. They should have known. John McTiernan or whatever. He should have known. He should have just put Trump in it. I mean, Trump probably would have been good at Predator. To be honest, he would have been probably had some funny shit to say. Fuck him. We hate the bastard. The Antichrist. Evil. It's evil. Let's just call it what it is. It's evil. He's evil. He's evil. Not good. But these people don't really believe in that, I don't think. They just believe in power and winning. Winning, winning, winning. Trump is like part Charlie Sheen. President Sheen. Charles Sheen-Tevez. 2.5 Men. He's President Charlie Harper. He's building like a Malibu style compound where the East Wing used to be. like Charlie Harper. Who's gonna write his jingles? Trump, you motherfucker! I guess I just give him too much thought. Well, what? You want to hear me talk about my open mic more or my poetry? Should I talk about my open mic or my poetry? What do you guys like? In the comments later. Comment later. When you watch this later, please let me know. Now there's nobody watching. Good. Good. Okay. Thank you. I had 3 people. It's not bad. Pretty good. Pretty fucking good. Okay. Fuck. That was so dumb. Anyway, okay, so where was I? Trump, 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 Trump. Fucking goddamn it! We're fucked. Well, the war is kind of. Who knows what the fuck is going on? I mean, even the Iranians are like, you for real, dude. Come on. They're being very reasonable, I gotta say. They're being very, very chill about the whole fucking thing. But I do think that the Americans realize they need a new strategy. And like Professor Zhang said, this is the first 21st century war. I mean, was Ukraine the first 21st century war? Or, like Afghanistan, Iraq, those were still kind of like Desert Storm in a way. This is like drone, social media, uh, influencing the domestic population of the like American public psyop to like get them to just be skeptical about everything and like get Trump elected, basically get this agent of chaos and destruction for a planned bankruptcy. What does Tony Soprano call it? Is it planned bankruptcy? Let me get my other. I do want to look it up. David, because that's the thing about The Sopranos is like the language on that show is so specific and so powerful. Like it's very subtle, but they just get um certain thing about colloquial American modern vernacular and what it sounds like, and I don't know, just like I don't, there's just it's subtle because I don't know if I'd say The Sopranos is better than like I do think Mad Men is like ultimately kind of a higher like there's a lot of things in Sopranos that are so like inside baseball, like mafia stuff, or like they're talking about their money, and it is all like a metaphor or whatever for capitalism or just like that kind of hierarchical, kickbacks and kick up to the boss. And there was this video on TikTok where they're going into the how much money Tony Soprano makes in a year. I think they said he makes somewhere near $5 million a year or something. They said the executive game they make 80. I forget what he calls it, 80 large a month, which is 80 grand a month. The executive game is like the game that David Lee Roth, David Lee Roth and Frank Sinatra Jr. And who else is in the executive game? Paul Mazursky's in the executive game. The executive game's like showbiz heaven or something. For some reason, David Lee Roth is in the executive game. I wasn't really sure why. I thought he was from New Jersey. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. They put David Lee Roth in the executive game. I'm gonna ask the AI. What does Tony Soprano say to David when he asks him what's he gonna do with his business? 360. Oh, I've been seeing all these fucking Bam Margera videos too. Bam Margera is like on some kind of comeback. So TikTok has been subliminally kind of like it's try, because I'm kind of on a comeback. Maybe I don't know. It's time for my comeback. Time for my comeback special. And so, fucking piece of shit tripod. I do have a gig on Friday at this fucking pool hall. This pool hall in Bay Ridge, which sounds pretty. I've played a pool hall before. I played Fats Billiards in Columbus, Ohio. Um, so I'm no stranger to playing a pool hall. I'm perfect for a pool hall. Are you kidding me? So Friday night, sometime late, I think, playing this fucking pool hall in Bay Ridge. Status Q. David Scatino. He quickly becomes Davy Scatino. He becomes heavily indebted to Tony to the tune of 45 grand. Fuck. Yeah, it's a bust out. There you go. God damn it. The AI doesn't. The AI isn't just immediately giving me the answer. God damn it. Planned bankruptcy, I think. But even that is a storyline from Goodfellas. Like Sopranos really borrows a lot from stuff that, or even the fucking actors. Yeah, yeah. He calls it a planned bankruptcy. The end, it's planned bankruptcy. Okay, so I was right. Actually, I did get it right. I know that's riveting streaming for people. Uh, so that's what's the United States of America? What's the end? Planned bankruptcy. That's Trump's specialty. He's the perfect guy for the job. I mean, literally. If you look at his resume, there's no better candidate. There is no one more qualified to fucking destroy this country than Trump. I mean, he's so qualified. It's insane. He's so qualified. He is so hire this man. Hire this man immediately because he will destroy this country easily. Easily. He's destroyed everything ever. He's so good at it. My God. He's like the Tiger Woods of fucking things up, like planned bankruptcies. Just win, 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 win. Money, money, fame, fame, notoriety, sex, 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 luxury. Okay? Luxury. Planned bankruptcy to the tune of $45,000. That's how much that guy's whole business. That's not that much money. And they just destroy the guy's everything. See, that's wrong. That's why the mafia sucks. People like to glamorize, or people like to act like the mafia is like this honorable thing or something. But it's like they make money off of like black magic, basically. And that's not good. Like, like, like all this goddamn. It's no coincidence that the casino boss has been president for 10 years and now they're suddenly gambling everywhere on everything. That's not a coincidence. I saw this article. New York's first casino just opened the other day. The first like real casino somewhere in Queens. I think there's horse or is there horse racing or dog race? There's some kind of racing, horse racing out by the airport, and I think there's some kind of casino there. But like this is like a real standalone casino or something. But everything's gambling, poly market shit. It's fucking insane. If you're in the goddamn government, you should not be able to You're supposed to divest from that shit. You're not supposed to have stocks. You're not supposed to have conflicts of interests. Jimmy Carter had to sell his peanut farm or whatever. People just forgot that. It's just like fucking Trump. Everything is a conflict of interest. That's the point. That's why he's the president, because it's in his interests. These things are in his interests. Get everybody gambling on everything. We know how to make money from that. That's what we do. Poly market. Now you can just bet on fucking anything. You don't even have to wait for Sunday. Just start betting immediately. Immediately with breakfast. Just start betting on shit. I don't even know what I'm kind of curious. I've never been into gambling in any way. Maybe it's just because I've always been broke, but it doesn't attract me. It seems boring. What could be more boring than that? That doesn't seem fun at all. But it's about competition, and it's about uh, and it's about sort of those moments of exhilarated getting by just on the skin of your teeth and coming out. Like Michael Jordan is just a junkie of last minute strangulation, like autoerotically asphyxiating his competitive strain in front of the whole world, and just the last second. Oh yeah, fuck yeah, like Tiger Woods, same thing. He's probably a gambling. Well, I don't know. Does Tiger gamble? I think he. I'm pretty sure he does. He probably started when he was a kid. He probably hustled people like on the fucking golf course all the time. I don't know. I guess it's just part of being a guy. A guy's guide to being a man's man. My uncle, who is obsessed with Sopranos, and rightly, and all the mafia shit. Certain people in my family were just like obsessed with the mafia. My stepdad was like obsessed with the fucking mafia and would read books about it and shit. It's a fantasy, I guess, for a lot of wannabe psychopaths who can't really get up the balls to actually live that way, but they aspire. It's aspirational. Tony Soprano is like aspirational. He's like this hero. He's this universally kind of acknowledged sex symbol. Ladies want a man like James Gandolfini, and God bless him. That's why I think it's such a massive. I mean, maybe just for me, maybe other people are seeing other things. I just see Soprano shit, I guess, but uh, that character is just so. I don't know. There's kind of more they can do with it with Don than they can with Don Draper. Don Draper is really like a real, there in the beginning there's this element of like there's going to be like this double life, and he's going to kind of have this, like Breaking Bad has that. He's like a criminal but his family doesn't know. Sopranos same. Well, his family does know ish, but it's like a double life thing, and he's breaking the fucking law. Whereas like Madman, it's like he's not really breaking the law. He's somebody that was like forced through circumstance to kind of make some, maybe not the most honorable decisions, but like you can't really blame him. I mean, I guess you could argue the same thing about Tony Soprano or those other characters, but Don Draper's not really like a fucking actively, other than selling cigarettes, and I guess that's a different kind of crime, what he does. But generally, by society's views, he does have a double life where he's like cheating on his wife. And, there is like sort of an element where it's like he's Dick Whitman and Don Draper. He's like a superhero or something. There is like this assumed his Superman is like Clark Kent. It's Don Draper's just like this guy in an office, and he's a writer, basically. He's kind of a poet, really. It's kind of, you could argue, because, it's all about message and succinct. Don Draper's just like, And his little fucking pitches, his poetry readings, his legendary talk pieces. You know, Don Draper is totally like kind of a guru or something. And he gets to kind of show everybody. But in any case, Mad Men is more, I don't know. Part of the appeal of Sopranos and is the heightened drama is kind of a little more legible because people are fucking getting their heads cut off and shit. People are constantly getting whacked. You know, that's, Mad Men doesn't really rely on that. They're not just killing people off, generally speaking. In fact, how many characters die? Like a couple, maybe not more than a handful, really. There's very few like jump scare type things on Mad Men. There are some, but it's generally kind of a show that I think doesn't want to be about violence. The violence is all through like the subliminal messaging that they're poisoning the American psyche with, getting them to drink and smoke and do all this toxic shit. Another element of the globalism thing is flying, being able to travel everywhere, having an American passport, right? It was the best passport. You could go everywhere. And just being able to, used to be able to go to Canada without a passport. When we were kids in the 90s, you didn't need a fucking passport. You just go. We were friendly with them. And then somewhere during Bush era, you suddenly had to have a passport. And now it's like the cost of oil is like Spirit Airlines crashed. And I think, didn't they say like Europe is going to have a bunch of airlines go out of business and flights canceled, and they're already sort of running out of oil there. Maybe this is all just like sensational fucking bullshit that's in the fake news, but uh there doesn't seem to be any forward movement. As far as I know, the Strait of Hormuz is still closed. And I think they said the last I heard, the deal is they simplified it. They dumbed it down. They said, Trump, all you have to do is remove your blockade and we'll reopen the strait. That's the deal. And apparently they can't even get that done or something. I don't know. But it's going to change that element. Like part of Mad Men, right, is he works in LA because it's the jet age. Suddenly, everybody could fucking fly everywhere quickly. You don't have to ride some propeller fucking plane, some fucking biplane, like you're fucking Charles Lindbergh. I mean, Sopranos is constantly doing jokes like that, where it's like this guy thinks he's fucking, but they're good at it. They always pick these really interesting, meaningful kind of references. Fucking Gary Cooper over here, that kind of thing. That's not a good example. The strong silent type. He was gay, Gary Cooper. See, that's a good phrasing. The way that they phrase that, he was gay, Gary Cooper. You just know exactly. That's how people say that kind of stuff. I don't know. He never had the makings of a varsity athlete. There's so many things on that show that are like that. That are like such specific little touches. I think that's an Italian thing. Just that kind of portraiture. The Sopranos feels like a portrait gallery to me of all these. But the thing is, they're these real. You can feel Sopranos is like a sanitized version to some degree. Like the real Tony Soprano, I don't think would be that charismatic or lovable. Frankly, James Gandolfini is lovable. He's got a kind of a teddy bear because you can tell he's like, I don't know, he's this sweet guy. he's still this like avatar of maybe it's just my feet, but he does feel like this avatar of culture, even though he died in this kind of horrible, tragedy. But uh he died in Rome. It's cool. First Tony Soprano. And I don't know, in a certain way it makes the character that much more mythical. It's like now it's like, wow. Now it's like you really can believe that he died. If he was still alive, they probably would have did a reboot by now. Probably 2017, they probably would have did a fucking reboot, Sopranos Revisited or something. And now the end of that show really does feel like he probably got killed. That's everybody believes that that's what it is already. People want to believe that that character died for whatever reason. And it's definitely plausible. But I think the strength of it is that it is ambiguous. It's not conclusive. You don't see him get his brains blown out all over the fucking onion rings, you know, in the jukebox or whatever. That would have, I don't think Journey would have loved that, actually. Journey probably would have fucking, not agreed to allow their song to be used if it ended with the guy walking up behind Tony Soprano and just blam, and his brains going all over his family. But, there's reason to believe that that is what happened. And so, in any case, the story had kind of run its course because that glorified pygmy crew or whatever, they're a glorified crew. My favorite character, I think, is Phil Leotardo. Phil Leotardo is just so bitter. He's fucking hilarious. That pygmy thing they got over in New Jersey, and his kid. You look like a Puerto Rican whore. His grandkid or whatever. Here we go. It's the lowest form of conversation talking about Sopranos. Well, I don't know. It's a metaphor for my uncle who was into mafia shit. He always used to talk about Frank Vincent's book. Frank Vincent, for some reason, wrote this book. I guess there was a market for it. Frank Vincent was hot because he was Phil Leotardo. He was finally getting his due. I mean, Frank Vincent, goddamn, legend, legend. I mean, he's another actor that's like, I mean, he's been in 5 or 6, 7 classic fucking movies: Raging Bull, Goodfellas, Do the Right Thing, Sopranos, probably other shit I'm not thinking of right now. I'm sure, like Frank Vincent. Come on, guy's guide to be a man's man. Phil fucking Leotardo. Eject off into a tissue. The greatest fucking line. He's a fag. I don't know how he came up with that line reading. I apologize for saying the F on my live stream, but that line reading that Gandolfini gives of that line is like incredible. It's so fucking accurate. And that, to be honest, at the time, that storyline felt a little bit like heavy-handed, but now I see that that's kind of what I haven't watched it since it was on, really. I have not rewatched it, but apparently a lot of it is sort of about 90s kind of concerns, political correctness and things like that, things that are sort of woke. Like the Sopranos characters are these sort of like immigrant, they're what, second, third generation Italians. So they are still kind of like, they're not that high up on the kind of like demographic ladder, but they're not totally white yet. They're not totally anglicized. They're still kind of, they're not like recent immigrants or whatever, but they're still a little bit, you know, and they're still a little bit, they still have some of their native character. They haven't been totally like homogenized uh And so throwing the Vito character in, who's gay, is pretty that is something they probably would have had to deal with actually. And they do it in a way that's like, hey, this is some of it like the Johnny Cakes thing when at the time it seemed like kind of extreme to take it to, but uh it's something you see a lot about now, that storyline. It was, I think it was oddly it was smart of them to put that in there because it shows you what the difference is in that world and how homophobic they are. They can't deal with it at all. Like I think about the line all the time. Tony Soprano has some line about, out there it's whatever, the 90s. In here it's in my house it's 1957 or something, he says. In his mind, I think that's when his daughter brings home like the black kid or whatever from Columbia. She goes to Columbia University. So there's all kind of woke propaganda. They probably have some kind of free Palestine storyline now. I think they probably did. I'm sure that, that whole thing with the Jews in the hotel and stuff and Hesh. Hold on to your dick when you're going to negotiate with these desert people. There's something about that show that captures, like, I don't know, just real life. Even though it is a TV show and it is a movie, like that, the way that character says that, and that Uncle Junior character, it really feels like familiar in a weird way. Even though you're not from Mafia World or any of that, it still feels like there's depth to the character. He's not just a caricature. Uncle Junior could easily become just like Mr. Magoo. And he sort of does, but even the dumb characters have like this memorable. In fact, maybe it's the dumbest characters that have, the most memorable corruptions of language. All right, what else do I need to talk about? I'm gonna wrap it up. I know people are well. I did get 3 likes. That's not terrible. That's about. I top out at 3 likes. I wonder who they are. Unless I do something really spectacular. I mean, I don't know. They were kind of well. It is what it is. This is just what I do. It's not. It's not necessarily meant to be. I mean, I'd love it if suddenly I broke through or something. But look at how many fans Logan Paul has. Logan Paul's in the White House. Okay. I would in a perfect world, I'd be Logan Paul, and Logan Paul would be like working in a fucking Target. But we live in the worst timeline. But it's just bearable enough, and it's just pleasurable enough to keep us suckered in. The hustle. We're just okay, sure, yeah, all right, fine. We'll listen to some more of your bullshit. Okay, well, I got a gig Friday at Status Q, the pool hall. I don't have a guitar. I don't know how the fuck I'm gonna practice. We'll figure it out somehow, I guess. And then what else? Oh, next Monday I'm doing this thing. The guy's texting me about it right now. It's a reading of the poem Howl in Washington Square Park, May 4th. So I will be there reading part of the poem Howl. And it should be fun. I mean, it's cool. They got a permit. There's going to be amplification. They're giving away, I think, copies of the book. It's the City Lights book, I think. So come on out to Washington to wash. Come to wash. Well, I was talking to the guy on the phone. It seems really cool, actually. It's like he works for this thing called the University of Attention or something, and it's all about they like study the attention and the attention economy and this and that, and it's the opposite of this. Everything they're trying to do, we talked for a while. It was, we were vibing, it's the total opposite of this because everything they do is like about kind of trying to get things offline. The guy's like not on social media. They're not promoting it on social media. Part of the point of doing it in public is to kind of intersect with people that in person and affect kind of just the commons, reclaiming the commons. And I just agreed. I fucked with everything the guy was saying, and so it's something I've been trying to do. And my other friends who Twin City, they do a lot of public performance too, so I'm super inspired by that. And I love that. I love that just like going out and I don't know. I've always felt like that, a street performer and a busker, and I do feel like those are like the best spaces for somebody that like would never see it otherwise. You can really just reach normal people on their commute, and maybe they won't stop and watch. Maybe they will, but maybe they'll take something with them. Maybe like there used to be this guy in the Q train who dressed like a bunny. You remember that guy? He was annoying as hell, but he was kind of funny and totally nuts, probably. But that's what makes New York interesting. That's why you come here. You come here because everywhere is fucking theater and a stage and a potential kismet opportunity for magic and to get into something real. And so come out Monday. I think it's at 5:30 is when it starts. We're gonna be reading Howl before the open mic. And I understand all that. I don't know. I mean, the urge to get off social media, I guess, look at me. I'm sitting in a room by myself talking to a stick. This is probably not a healthy use of one's time, but I did get 3 likes. And I'll probably get, I don't know, somewhere around 30 views maybe. Well, I've gotten a lot of watch time. My watch time is like way up. I've got like 100 more hours of watch time this month than usual. So, for better or for worse, people are watching longer of this. So, more people are watching. I might not get some kind of super high view count, but like I've got like solid watched. I think that's more important. I think your watch, like my last vlog got a lot of watch time actually, which like typically the vlogs people kind of click them and then maybe don't. But the last vlog I got 32-hour watch time, which I mean it is 4 hours long, so the opportunity, but that means 8 people watched all of it, or maybe 32 people watched 1 hour, or maybe 64 people watched half an hour, or maybe you don't know. I think it got 60 clicked, so what is that? 32 divided by 60. It's let's say 30 divided by 60 is what? Half or something, half an hour or something maybe each. I don't 2 hours each. I don't know. I can't do it. I'm good at math, believe me. 32 hours divided by 60 views would be, we'll see, that would be what? 30 hours would be 1,800 minutes. 60 divided by 800 or 1,800 is 1,800 divided by 60 would be what? 30? Yeah, so everybody watched it for half an hour. Is that what it is? I guess that's obvious. That's totally obvious. That's not a hard math problem at all. But I think it's important to do math on the internet to show people that like you should learn to read. I'm sorry. You should learn how to fucking read. I've been publishing things this last week on Instagram. I feel great about it. I'm going to continue to do that. Please send me things, or I'm going to ask people at the open mic to publish things. I'm going to move into other things. I'm going to do interviews. I'm going to do, you know, moving into other spheres. I'm ready to get active and do shit if, before the nuclear holocaust happens. But Joe the Swan just sent me this piece out of the blue. Well, I mentioned it at the open mic. I said, hey, I'm publishing things, so I'm going to try to draw things from the open mic. Meaning that, like, if I heard something I liked at the open mic, I might ask you to publish it. Because my goal is to maybe publish one thing a week. So that way it won't just be pictures from the open mic. It'll be like a poem, maybe an interview, maybe some other kind of content, and then maybe the pictures. Maybe clips from the open mic, more clipped out stuff. Right now it's just fucking pictures, but like I do think 1,500 people saw these poems and they got 30 likes or something. That's not bad. I think people were reading them. That's all that matters. That's all that fucking matters. Is like if 1,500 people looked at it, if let's say five, let's say 100 of them read it. That's still kind of incredible, actually. And it'll be up there. And so I want to create sort of an archive on Instagram where it's like you can just read all of these poems right on the page. And Joe the Swan sent me this thing, Philosophical Manifesto. It was great. Well done. About uh what was it? Fucking I don't even know the verbiage of this stuff. Some kind of metaphysical um I forget the exact word he used. Goddamn. And it was more kind of like a prose piece, but like it had a deeper kind of resonance and let's see, okay, platonic form of temporality. There it is, the platonic form of temporality. And so it was definitely edifying for all kind of thoughtful people to read and for poets to read. So it felt like, and he's it's cool to have work generated just from that from the scene of people that's there and not necessarily going after it with some intention. Like I said, he sent it to me in my DMs. So I definitely thought it was, he's a definite artist. I mean, he's an amazing I can't believe he's only been doing the clown stuff not that long, because he's an amazing piano player and an amazing just like clown soul. He's created really amazing moments on stage, and he seems very adept at it. He's got a very kind of like last night he did this thing where he was like, miming for the audience, and it really worked. And I put him on in prime time. He's up in front of 40 people or whatever, and he did great. It was beautiful. It was magical. It was what is it? I already forgot what it was. Uh, platonic, the platonic ideal. Yeah, so I'm going to be publishing more poetry. Submit. We just need a new system of value. We need to reevaluate our system of value, our system of economics, what we incentivize. We need to create as much good feeling for as many people as possible. And if people want to have kids, they should be able to do that. I think generally people who have kids these days are somewhat responsible about it. Most of the people I know who have kids have two or three. There are some people that have a lot of kids, but they're all on welfare or something. So they're gaming the system. Good for them. Or they're Elon Musk. But he's on welfare. Like I said, they're all on welfare. Uh, So I don't know. We need to rethink our government, our economy. It's already being done for us, and the people that are doing it do not seem as intelligent or, like, think about Benjamin Franklin. Think about all the shit that this guy started. It's crazy. He started the first post office. He started the first library. He started the first fucking. He invented electricity or whatever. He captured. It's like the dude did so much fucking shit. It's like this was a pretty fucking. I mean, maybe he was the Elon Musk. He was just a bullshitter. Maybe he was just a rich nepo baby. I'm not sure. Maybe they just lied. It probably is all fucking white supremacist lies, but this is kind of like gazing into like the narcissistic mirror right here. This is totally like the narcissistic mirror. Gazing into the pool of your own reflection. That's what streaming is. Gazing into the pool of your own reflection, everybody. Thank you for gazing with me. So yeah, these ass clowns, these jagoffs they're all the dark side. They're the empire. They're taking over, and I don't think they're gonna like. I don't think they have any of our best interests in mind. They're all billionaires for one thing. There was something I saw some video about just being a billionaire kind of makes you. It dehumanizes you. Like you can't really have empathy. It's just such an alienating situation, and I forget the finer points of the video, but it wasn't necessarily sympathetic to them as much as it was like kind of trying to explain why they're that way. Sort of like celebrities, it's just like it's just different. They're surrounded by sycophancy and they can have whatever they want and blah blah blah. And so they just think that they're doing it all themselves. And so the rules that they're gonna make are not going to be for like the everyman. It seems to me like it's heavily implied they want to kill most of us, which is kind of extreme. We've never had a government like that before. Generally speaking, it seemed like the government more or less was like kind of at least not totally actively trying to like sabotage us totally per se. That was like something the rich people were doing, but like the capitalists were doing. The government was sort of like gave us rights and like clean food, water, some to some degree. Like America really people love to shit all over it, but like, it was I think that's my understanding. It was a pretty hot shit like in the mid 20th century. It's pretty cool. Not anymore. Now we're still in the mid 20th century. Our fucking aircraft carriers like from the 50s. Still got just still watching the fucking honeymooners and shit. They've got landlines. Our Navy's so old it got landlines. The Navy's got landlines. That's ironic. Any case, when I look at these restaurants, like I get off the train, Popeye's Chicken, Domino's Pizza, Dunkin' Donuts, and then the grocery store. I go in the grocery store. Everything that's on sale is like the whole fucking store. It's a diabetes factory. They're trying to give everybody diabetes. I really believe that. I think we have a government. We're being ruled by people that like are malicious towards us. They want to torture us to death slowly through like poverty, poison food, poison everything. And keep eating the Popeyes chicken. Keep eating, the Intenman's fucking 12 packs of softies are on sale. So I'm gonna, be eating all this saturated fat all week. and it's designed to just make you keep wanting more. It's full of all this minerals and metal. It's like it's a fucking donut. Why does it have rare earth minerals in it? Because they're trying to kill us. They're trying to kill us. And they're winning, kinda. I can't get any fucking traction. It's all sewn up. It's all Nepo babies. It's all people that are already rich. I am like, it's amazing that I've gotten this far. It's amazing I'm still here because everybody else who's here has rich parents. I mean, everybody in the comments on TikTok video, when they shit on transplants, and there's a lot of negative videos that I see toward transplants, maybe that's all just my feed. I guess it is, but they always say, like, fuck these people from Ohio. Go back to Ohio. It's like, yeah, we are from Ohio. So what? Okay. I'm not like those other people from Ohio. Okay. I mean, if all of these people out there, literally out there in this neighborhood, if all of these people are from Ohio and they're just like kids with rich parents who grew up in suburbs of like Republican red ass Ohio, and those are their parents, and that's who lives here now, is those are the rich kids whose parents like buy them a condo, is like their parents like are, own a car dealership in Ohio or something. I get why New York sucks now. That's why I moved here, to get away from those people. See, I'm poor and I'm from Ohio. Okay, it's totally different. Poor people from Ohio are great. They got a lot of culture. They got a lot of elbow grease. They got a lot of ingenuity, a lot of character. Rich people from Ohio, they're just neocons. They're assholes. They're just golf. I don't think golf is inherently bad. I'm not politically, I think golf is a shepherd's game. It doesn't necessarily have to be this evil, like, corporate country club thing. I think it's innate to like a shepherd kind of like lifestyle. And they've probably been doing it for thousands of years, to be honest. I don't necessarily think it's always been this capitalist Trump thing. So I don't disagree with golf like philosophically or politically even. I don't think it's like evil. Now the golf courses, that's debatable. And the politics of golf are horrible. And New York is full of golf simulators. You walk through the East Village, it's like there's not art galleries, there's golf simulators. There's a big fucking screen with a projector and some dickhead swinging a golf club, hitting a golf ball into a computer golf simulator, in a place where probably Joe Brainerd used to have his art. Now it's a fucking golf simulator from some dickhead who wants to go play winged foot, but he can't because he has to like stay after at Lehman Brothers or wherever the fuck he works, figuring out some kind of scheme, Ponzi scheme or something, some kind of extraction. It's all about extraction. What can I extract from you guys? What can I extract from? We're all just needing to extract everything. You have to be a vampire. You need an oil pipeline. You need um, a, a transnational drink up your milkshake. What a great metaphor for everything. It's all about these fucking choke points, these goddamn oil pipelines. And I don't have any fracking money. I was raised to believe there are more important things than money, and that money didn't matter actually, and that you wanted to try to do good things in the world and be a good person. But that's just something they teach suckers, so it will be easy to manipulate, so it will work for them. People like Les Wexner, people like Trump, people like McMahon. We don't need them. The workers can own the fucking business. The workers create the wealth. It's an illusion that the profits all go to the boss. That's just how they decided. That's how these alpha male fucking bossy asshole Trump types, that's how they think. People like my stepdad. They want it, they want employees. That's their natural mindset. They want to be landlords. It's rent-seeking behavior. And they've been running things because capitalism enabled that, because the workers work the machines or whatever. This guy owns the machines. He's got the money to start the business, so he decides how much money you make unless you organize. And if you organize, he's going to try to kill you all, or, make you suffer. And God knows what we're moving into now. I mean, everything. I was just talking to my parents. Everything in Columbus, Ohio is like these warehouses and automation and fucking data centers. And now there's some backlash to the data centers, but the writing is on the wall with the AI to some degree, as far as it taking those type of jobs, driving jobs, trucking jobs, warehouse jobs, whatever, manufacturing jobs. It's all going to be automated. There's going to be a lot of automation all over the fucking place. And we're just going to get what? We're going to get. It's just, there needs to be a rethinking. This could be great for everybody. The AI can replace us. That's fine. Just whatever wealth they create, give it to us in a universal basic income. Elon Musk said he believes in a universal basic high income. I don't know what the fuck how he validates that or justifies that, but that's the first thing I've ever agreed with him on. Yeah. Start sending me the checks. I'm ready for that universal. Let's take some of your money. As a matter of fact, wait a minute. You got $1 trillion, right? You've been kind of vocal about that, right? We all kind of know this asshole's got $1 trillion because it's on the front page of every fucking newspaper in the world. Well, shit. Let's start with you, dickhead. Let's just transfer all that. Let's transfer 999 billion straight to BAM, the government, the welfare office, straight to SSI, or whatever the fuck it's called, SSRI, and just send everybody payments of what's good. What's a universal basic high income, would you say? Well, you're pretty rich. What's your income? I say universal basic high income would be like, I mean, I made 20 grand during the pandemic and I could not believe how fucking rich I was. It was like, holy shit. I feel like I've struck gold. I feel like I'm in fucking San Francisco in 1849. I'm a Bitcoin billionaire. This is insane. I've got $20,000. Fuck. This is twice as much money as I've ever earned, you know, organically. Earned fair and square. So yeah, I'm ready. Maybe 5 grand a week. I'd say would be good. I think I could live on 5 grand a week pretty well. I could do a lot of good for humanity. Not like Elon Musk. I could create a lot of poetry chat books, start a lot of open mics, do a lot of live streaming. I could do a lot of noise music with that money. I am so ready for my universal basic high income so I can afford a place to live and I can finally just not, that's a distraction. It's a handicap, charging everybody this unsustainable amount of money to live unless they just work to death is handicapping anybody who's not already rich, which is their intention, I think. They want there to be two clearly delineated classes of people. There's the asset holding class who are all got rich because of inflation. I mean, maybe that's one reason why Elon Musk wants universal basic high inflation, because income, because it would cause high inflation, and the inflation increases the value of the assets and it just goes to rich people eventually. Maybe that's why he wants it, just so he'll get richer. But if they just kept the payments coming, it would create a demand in the economy where people could buy goods that were made by the robots. And then people who start businesses could make more money if they wanted to. You could, people want to start businesses. They want to do things. People that retire and start fucking businesses just because they want something to do. Like, just because people got a bunch of money every month doesn't mean they would fucking stop working. I can't believe I got 5 fucking people watching now. I'm just about to sign off this shit. I started talking about, oh, there it goes. I started talking about universal basic high income. I'm ready. Let's get Mamdani on this. They couldn't even get free buses. How the fuck are we going to get a universal basic high income? I don't know, but I got an idea. How about we take all the billionaires' money and all the money they give to the fucking military industrial complex and just give it to normal people. Put cash in people's hands and just let the organic, that is a way, like I was saying, to like for people to express their spirit and their character. You don't necessarily need money. I mean, you kind of do. You kind of do. I mean, I wouldn't want to have so much money that I like lost my soul. Like a lot of these rich people, they don't have any fucking, they don't know how to do anything. They're kind of clueless in a way. But salt of the earth, blue collar motherfuckers like me, like you kind of have to learn some kind of street smarts or something. You got to learn to read people. You got to learn to hack it somehow. You got to figure it all out for yourself. And you're basically denied anything fun because anything's fun that pays money, rich people want to do it. So they take the jobs. That's why they're all, everything's a Nepo baby now because people want to be writers. They want to be actors. They want to make TV shows. They want to make movies. They want to work for newspapers. They want to, whatever the hell it is. There's a lot of fun shit. And so the Nepo babies get to do all of it. Well, the rest of us, unless you're just like insanely talented, I guess. And even then, it's like, where are those people? I don't see any. Our culture sucks so bad. Maybe Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber is somebody that just like made it because he's talented, but then he got fucked by P. Diddy. And I'm glad that he's out now. I'm glad that he's like strong. I love Bieber, man. Bieber's the man. I'm on Team Bieber. I'm glad he survived. He's a survivor. And who else? Is Bo Burnham? Is he a Nepo baby? Probably. I don't know. He's a freak. He's 6'5". So you either have to be a freak. I guess that's what entertainment's always been. But in any case, we live in the hell world, and the rich are just going to get richer. Hopefully, I'm ready for that universal basic high income and the free buses and the free everything. It's there. Have the robots do it. Have the fucking robots make the burritos. I don't care. Those people should not have to work at goddamn Chipotle. That doesn't do anybody any good to work at Chipotle all day. That's the assembly line. The only assembly lines in America now are burrito assembly lines, okay? That's the only place you're going to be getting a fucking job in an assembly line is at the burrito factory, okay? The stainless steel fucking gentrifier, colonizer, Aztec, ripped off, appropriated white people burrito place, okay? Everybody who works at Chipotle is not white, and all of the yuppies are in the line trying to get their little slop, their burrito slop, and we love it. God, thank God. Chipotle's got to be like a part of the CIA or something. How else would people live? Like we literally, there'd be no nutrients. Poor people could not get nutrients if it wasn't for like Chipotle. I'm sorry. Look at whatever 90% of the grocery store will kill you. It's like all saturated fat and salt and MSG and preservatives and food adjectives. All right, I got to get off this fucking thing. But now I got 3 people watching. See, it's like on what time? Yeah, I need to get off. All right. Should I? I'll go to 5 o'clock. I'll do 15 more minutes because I do have 3 people watching. See, I'm a junkie. This is my online gambling right here. YouTube is my poly market. And I'm betting. Am I going to have more than 3 viewers? I'll bet my whole bank account that I won't. I should just do predictive betting on my own live streams. I guarantee you, no, not more than 50 people will watch this. I'll put $1,000 on it. Yeah, you won big. This guy wins every time. How does he know nobody's going to watch this? It's rigged. I rigged it. You're not meant to watch this, okay? It's all rigged, just like everything out there. Everything is rigged. It's all fixed. It's all scripted. It's all a conspiracy. It's all aliens, okay? Trump is like he is in a skin suit. Okay, it's like on The Simpsons. Remember when Krang and Kudos like fucking took over Bob Dole and Clinton? That's the truth. The Simpsons predicted it. Okay, Matt Groening was on the island. It's not that he's predicting it, it's that he know it's planned. Okay? Matt Groening was at Bohemian Grove and he was with the pizza gate, eating the pizza and drinking the grape soda, and it's not predicting, it's planned. It's all fucking planned. And that the Simpsons, they knew there was going to be an alien president. They knew it. They were trying to tell us. They were trying to, hey, the call is coming from inside the house. Bill Clinton's an alien. He's a reptile alien. Obama, alien, 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 alien. And they're trying to keep a lid on it, okay? I mean, I don't know. I know the aliens are gonna wait till the last possible second, and then it's gonna just be like punked or something. That's they have to push it until the breaking point, with these punked like our lives. Our lives are just an episode of Punked, okay? It's like Candid Camera, except for the aliens enjoy our fucking suffering. They're real sadists. I mean, Trump's a sadist, Epstein's a sadist. This is one thing they all have in common is they're all fucking sadists. And why the fuck is Prince Charles here? What the fuck is that about? What does that mean? Really? What the fuck does that mean, really? I think to some degree, like the United States never actually like secede. It's like when you're somebody's kid, like you can run away from home, you can divorce your parents, but like they're still your fucking parents, and like Great Britain is still like the parent basically of the United States with a little bit of freaky, French, Spanish, indigenous, well, etc. Black, obviously, African. It's all that's America's it's a jigsaw puzzle where none of the pieces match. We're all just thrown in a box together. They don't fit, but we're ramming them together. Okay, that's what miscegenation is. You just make those fucking pieces fit, through sex, through procreation, and then the cultures blend and we all. Oh my god, I was listening to this Monty Python shit. I forgot how funny Monty Python was. Jesus Christ. Monty Python is fucking hilarious. But that's neither here nor there. The Galaxy song. I was thinking about that Galaxy song. Well, those guys all went to Oxford, and the Galaxy song, I was listening to it. I was struck by how like sincere it is. It's really like educational. It's all about the science of and I don't know if it's factually accurate per se, but it's not really there's that song I Like Chinese. It's not really it's really positive towards Chinese people. It's not really racist. He's not talking about how much Chinese people suck. It's all about how he likes them. Is that racist? And I don't know. Those that stuff is all the product of like intelligence, astronomy, figuring that shit out, figuring the galaxy out, figuring it out how big it is, what it is, how it's fucking huge. And it's like it took centuries of scientific, and there's always been prejudice and persecution of that type of stuff, but like it does feel like we're moving back into an area where there's more prejudice and persecution of that type of stuff. Uh, I guess I just got sick of sitting here. Fuck. I'm gonna go to 5 o'clock. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. 10 more minutes, 11 more minutes. Oh, maybe I should just get off now. There was something I was talking about. I changed the subject and I started talking about Monty Python. um, I don't know. Do young people today know who Monty Python is, or do they give a shit? Or is that just like totally canceled or like not funny anymore or just doesn't work? I feel like Gen Z would love it. It's so like, I don't know. It feels like that would be good on TikTok or something. It's so loony. It's so absurd. Um Oh yeah. Why is King Charles here with Queen? She's the queen. She's not the queen. I'm sorry. That hoe is not the queen. Camilla Parker Bowles or whatever. That is not the queen. I'm sorry. Just because he's married to the hoe bag does not make her the queen. Okay. Princess Diana is the queen. We all know Princess Diana is the queen. Okay. Anything else is just give me a break. That lady is not the queen. She's just his side piece. And Trump gave this weird speech about how his mom thought Prince Charles was hot. and Of course he did. Because of course he did. Like that's what he does. Somehow, because he's rich and protected and he threatens people or something and he's powerful, he gets away with just saying like the craziest shit, the most not inappropriate. He's grabbing his wife's ass. He's talking about how his mom wanted to fuck Prince Charles. Him and Prince Charles have been oddly kind of in it together or something. They've been kind of going. He went to Buckingham Palace, so I don't know. I guess are they our most important ally? Great Britain. I'm not sure. What's our real standing with them? But they seem to be wanting to like kind of cement whatever it is. Why the fuck would he come here at a time like this? The guy's shitting his pants. He can't even put a fucking sentence together. He's falling asleep. He's falling asleep in like the war room. If the president can't stay awake when he's like fighting in an active combat situation or like, in the throes of like about to bomb something, at least Biden wasn't bombing people. Yeah, maybe he was senile. I don't think he was shitting his pants. Okay. Trump, the intelligence, the inside information leads us to believe he's probably shitting his pants. That's kind of how it seems. And I don't think Biden was shitting his own pants. I think he was mentally sound, I think. Biden wasn't really was he confusing things? I think there were a few instances where maybe he called people the wrong shit or something. Maybe he mixed up a country, but he didn't bomb it. He didn't bomb the wrong place on accident or something. Trump is just like, yeah, fucking I don't care if they shot at me. I want to eat, god damn it. I want to do my jokes. We got an audience here. Let's get this thing going. I need to get my rocks off. I get in front of people and, insulting weak people. It's what I do. It's what I do. So yeah, I don't think the correspondence thing was fake, but just another example of like American incompetence and just how far look at the 60s, okay? When America was great. Those assassins, they got the fucking job done. I mean, it's horrible. I'm kidding. I'm kidding, of course, but they were competent, at least. These fucking clowns today, it's get your shit together. Can't we get Luigi in there? Pardon Luigi and send him in. Let's get Luigi on this, man. Luigi, you should have just waited a year. We needed you on Trump. You killed this nameless Brian fucking guy that just works for some company. Okay, that's cool, but we needed you on Trump, man. We need someone of your skill set. There's nobody out there who's both, at the end of the rope enough to commit like an assassination, yet, you know, mentally sharp enough to actually get it done. Well, this guy was like a fucking teacher or something. Somehow he got guns in, I think. He had, like, a shotgun that, like, got past I don't know. I didn't really read that much about it, to be honest. Who cares? It's just another fucking day in this fucking insanity. That's about the least exciting thing that's happened this week. Who gives a fuck? Tell me when there's some real news. The guy didn't even get close to him. Yeah, so another guy took a shot at Trump. Are you surprised? Like, I'm totally feels like, yeah, I'd be surprised if people weren't shooting at him. You know, how are there not people shooting at him everywhere he goes? How is there not somebody in close enough to like waste his ass? There isn't a single person who can get close to this guy. You know, John Stamos. I bet John Stamos could get close. One of these celebrities, any one of these fucking celebrities, or somebody from The Apprentice. Omarosa, come on, do us a solid. Any one of these celebrities could get an audience with Trump. Like, just grab a letter opener. I'm just kidding, okay? I told you it's dark humor, okay? He's the king of dark humor. What he's actually doing is dark. Cutting, US aid, responsible for a lot of people dying. So fuck him. Where's John Wilkes Booth when you need him? He was a famous actor. Isn't there some kind of famous actor from some kind of dynasty? Can't we get one of the Arquettes to kill Donald Trump or David Arquette? You could probably get an audience with Trump. Your career's over, dude. Come on. It's got to be somebody that's been on like Celebrity Apprentice. Who would be the best Celebrity Apprentice like assassin? Tom Green? I don't know. I don't think he'd be that invested. I never really watched it, to be honest. I don't really know who's been on it. Clay Aiken, probably. Maybe Clay Aiken could kill the president. How dope would that be? That would be just crazy enough to actually happen at this point. Clay Aiken fucking ice picks Donald Trump in the Oval Office during photo opportunity. He snuck in some kind of shiv or something. I don't know. God, somebody help. Prince Charles, you could do it. Come on. You're a king. They can't do anything to you. Just do look what he did to these other world leaders without fucking anybody's permission. I'm just kidding. These are jokes, okay? I'm protected by the First Amendment. At least I was. I'm sure that's gone. It's naive to think that would. Well, the Supreme Court just decided on something about the Voting Rights Act. They just gutted it or something. It doesn't seem good at all. It seems like they're setting up the elections to be rigged. So I guess I should touch on this. Let's see if it's in the New York Times. Oh, fuck. My goddamn Wi-Fi's not. My hotspot's not. Come on, bitch. Give me that. Yes. Okay, let me check. I'm sure the New York. Let's if it's, I'm checking the goddamn news constantly. What are they saying on Twitter? Supreme Court deals blow to Voting Rights Act. Ugh, that does not sound good at all. I mean, fucking cocksuckers. They know what they're doing, these bastards. Supreme Court further weakens Voting Rights Act, igniting political scramble. Okay. Well, I who knows what the specifics of that are. Are we going to be able to vote in the fucking election? Who gets what does that mean? Gutting it. I heard something about they disenfranchised a bunch of black people. Is basically what happened. Let's see. It's not trending on Twitter. Is it? Let's see. Yeah, it's number 1. Number 1 on Twitter. This is a huge some Republican douchebag said. Let's see here's what Obama said on Twitter. Obama's still on fucking Twitter. That's crazy. Today's Supreme is this the real Obama or is this fake? 120 million followers. Wow. So that's another reason why they bought fucking Twitter. Was so they could take away the power of, all the liberals who were on Twitter, who had giant audiences. Today's Supreme Court decision effectively guts a key pillar of the Voter Rights Act, freeing state legislators who gerrymander legislative districts to systematically dilute and weaken the voting power of racial minorities, so long as they do it under the guise of quote unquote partisanship rather than explicit quote unquote racial bias. And it serves as this guy was the head of the Harvard Law Review, keep in mind. And it serves as just one more example of how a majority, it was woke bullshit. He's a plant. He's a woke plant. And it serves as just one more example of how a majority of the current court seems intent on abandoning its vital role in ensuring equal participation in our democracy and protecting the rights of minority groups against majority overreach. The good news is that such setbacks can be overcome, but that will only happen if citizens across the country who cherish our democratic ideals continue to mobilize and vote in record numbers, not just in the upcoming midterms or in high profile races, but in every election and every level. You know, Trump is kind of better at tweeting, I hate to say. What did Trump's tweet say? Obama, you need to write more like your Luella Parsons or something. You need to write more like your fucking, Walter Winchell or the National Enquirer. Yeah, sure. You went to Columbia and Harvard, okay, but like you could learn or two or thing about writing copy from, you know, Entertainment Tonight or Access Hollywood or Hard Copy, uh, Mark Burnett Productions, the National Enquirer. Did I mention that? All right, it's 5 o'clock probably? Yes, it is. All right. Well, thank you guys for watching. Go back and watch from the beginning. We got into some interesting shit here. Maybe I'll clip some of it out. I think we got some good clips from the clip farm today. All right, well, come see me Friday at Status Q in Bay Ridge. Be rocking the joint. All right. Have a good day, everybody. Ta ta. Happy spring.